Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Zotac Cup NA Qualifiers. We're here with the semifinals between Complexity and Fire. Although Complexity doesn't have their team name in the bottom, and Fire, of course, has been turned into Moana and Friends. Which, by the way, I haven't seen that movie. I don't know if it's any good or not. I hope it is. But this should be an interesting matchup. Now, Fire was actually really, really far behind in terms of, like, they were 2 rounds back of Complexity. But for whatever reason, the team that they were going to play after they beat Sliders, named Horizon, was DC'd or FF'd or they got kicked out. I don't know what the hell happened, in all honesty, but it turns out that, yes, they got a walkover win, and that puts them into the semifinals. On the other side of the bracket, you have Tempest and the winner of Metacutioner Z as well as Team Freedom. And it looks like Team Freedom, the last time I checked, was doing very poorly in that regard. In fact, we'll go back to Firefox and we'll check out and see if that is still going on. And it looks like it is. That game is not over yet, so Freedom is still hanging in there despite being down 10,000 at one point in time or another. However, this is the more important game. More than likely, the winner of this series will win the entire thing in terms of the qualifiers for this week. Now, I believe this is the second North American qualifier, I believe, out of 4 for the Zotac Cup. Last week, Stan King's team actually made it through. The old FDL squad, if you will, was able to make it through based off of sort of an FF loss and from Team Jenkins, Team Red's perspective. So, and in that quarter or in that qualifiers, we had Complexity, Fire, and Freedom all lose before they got to the semifinals. So, just wanted to make sure everybody understood what the stakes were and what really is going to happen here. So, again, going back to what we talked about with Monkeys, Talera apparently standing in. The former Root player is going to stand in as Monkey is not here. Everybody else here should be. This is Moo. That's Z Freak. That's probably 747, and this is probably Swindles, I would imagine. But on the other side, Crippling Depression, apparently the drafter for Braxton, or rather he is the drafter, or rather the captain, as Brax has picked that up. Whitebeard is Pichu. Fluff is obviously Fluff. Brink is Brink, and then TC is TC. So, now that we've got all of that squared away, let me do another introduction. My name is Mont, here from moonducktv. It's good to be joining you guys. This is, again, our second to last series of the day. Well, we could probably see the other semifinal, to be honest with you, but this one is very good too. I'll probably go into the other semifinal, but I don't know if I'll go into the lobby. This is a game I really want to watch, whereas it depends, honestly. So here's the thing. Here is the thing. If Fire were to lose, then Brax would come and co-cast with me for the grand finals. If Fire were to win, well, I'm kind of screwed. I guess I could ask Zach. I don't think he really wants to co-cast. Maybe Swindles or somebody, but I doubt they would say yes. I know Brax perhaps a little bit better when it comes to casting in that regard. Now we're getting into the draft, though. Lifestealer slotted our first 2 picks. Centaur Warner with Terrorblade on the opposite side. Terrorblade, a very good hero right now, especially when you give him Bloodlust or Empower or Alacrity. Very, very strong, but instead they're just going to give him the Terrorblade. The Magnus was banned out first by Brax and Fire, making sure they don't give that away. They played the last game as Brax was in the offlane with it pretty damn well. The Alina banned out, the Ember Spirit, as well as the Dazzle, followed by the Monkey King on the other side, the Coddle, the Tinker, and then the Timbersaw. And, of course, that Tinker makes a lot of sense to ban out. Very good stuff there. So now we're 4 picks in total. We're getting into our 5th pick, our 3rd pick for Fire, as they have plenty of reserve time to get right into it. And they'll go for the Brink Invoker again. Definitely not a bad pickup, especially against somebody like the Terrorblade. You have a lot of lockdown. You have a lot of ways to drain mana, a lot of ways to deal with the illusions. So Invoker is probably one of the better heroes against it. They also have the Corrosive Haze from the Slaughter, which makes it a lot easier to blow up that Terrorblade, and so he doesn't get that Sunder off. And then there's the Lifestealer, and in terms of man fighting, the Lifestealer early on in the game should do a pretty good job against it. They will have Stampede, so the ability to get in and out of fights is going to be useful for this Radiant team. Now we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on reserve time. Again, let me ask you guys, how you doing today? Doing well? It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, around that area, if you will. And I'm so happy to be here with you all, casting this series. I don't think anybody else is because there's nobody else here, so it sucks, but that's the way it goes. Woo! Why is Dota filled with weeaboos? Now, that is a good question, and probably because, I don't know, actually. I feel like it's just the type of game that sort of attracts that personality. And it's not like there's a ton of weeaboos. There's like it's like maybe a 45%, 40% like weeaboo to non-weeaboo ratio in Dota. In fact, I'd say it's even lower. It's like a 30% weeaboo to non-weeaboo ratio.
5 seconds remaining.
I will say this. 90% of the weeaboos in Dota aren't actually weeaboos. They really just enjoy watching anime. Like Brax is a good example. I mean, he's not the biggest weeaboo in the world. He just watches a lot of anime. You know, there are a few guys out there that really go above and beyond with their anime watching, like myself, MSS, Envy. Obviously, are the three that come to mind. But it's not a bad thing. The one thing I gotta say is, if you watch anime, don't be ashamed that you watch anime. Who fucking cares, man? It's just another show, and there's always good shows. Don't get fucking bullied because you enjoy something like that you really like, you know, and that you think you have a special bond with. Just because it's not the norm, you know. There are plenty of people out there that do bondage and S&M, you know, and we think that's really weird, but I'm sure they're having a pretty good time with life. I don't know why I used that particular example. I'm not really into that kind of thing, but it just came off the top of my head, so whatever. I mean, there's other stuff you could talk, like, it's like, I don't know. You know, you're getting invested in what's the difference between, like, a general sitcom that's live action and an anime? What, that one's drawn, and I guess it is also Japanese, that's the biggest thing, but anyways, I'm going to, you know. That's too much preaching. I'll stop it for now. The Venomancer has been picked up next, so we'll wait and see where they're going to run this. The Veno could go mid, theoretically, against the Invoker and probably have a pretty good time. The Terrorblade more than likely in the safe lane. Moan and friends, a.k.a. Fire, have 20 seconds left in reserve time for their fourth pick. And they're looking for another support or their offlaner at this point. They have the Bane. They could also run the Slaughter in the offlane, so they could either get a 4 position here or an offlaner. So 3 or 4 for the last pick coming out. Axe is still available. Timbersaw has been banned out. What else is there? We already talked about Mag. He's been banned out. Centaur is on the other side. Who else is available that I'm missing out on? I'm sure there's a lot that I just can't remember off the top of my head. Damn it.
5 seconds remaining.
I can't remember. I have no idea.
Reserve time.
Well, I'm sure something will come to mind as soon as he gets picked. $52 seconds left. We're probably looking for mostly supports here for this Radiant Complexity squad. Some aggressive play going to be coming out. The Terrorblade pick is going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see that. Come on now, folks. Please pick a hero. God, I don't want to go back to talking about anime.
Dire team back.
Guys really don't like anime, huh? Now everybody's like, Mott's into S&M. What a fucking weirdo. But no, not really. Rubik, 4th pick coming out for Complexity.
Radiant team ban.
Shit. You found out my secret. Well, about that. We'll just let that go. This is why you don't let me solo cast, because this shit happens. So last ban is the IO for the Fire Squad. Not a bad ban. Like IO, given any hero like Terrorblade, could be frustrating. TA is going to be the mid laner, which leaves the Venomancer as the 4 position support, the Rubik as the 5, the Terrorblade as the 1, and the Centaur as the 3. So that'll be that for, I believe, for Complexity, unless something crazy happens here. Fire have 15 seconds left in both normal and reserve time. Their last pick, again, it could be that offlane, which would be more likely, or the Slaughter goes offlane, and then you have a 4th sufficient position support that you're picking up next. And we'll wait and see if that's going to be the case or not. As far as the lanes being set up, I don't think either team wants to go for like an aggro tri-lane. Against Metamorphosis could be rough, against Gale and Telekinesis. So I would imagine maybe we have some dual lanes coming out, or just defensive tri-lanes for both teams. Although, again, I don't know enough about that to really say that as fact. The Enigma is going to be what should be the offlane here for Fire, interestingly enough. The Brax Enigma, as it were, which I haven't seen too much of. But all right. So how do you guys feel about anime? Tell me how you really feel. Come on now. Let me hear it. All right, so there is not a whole lot to cancel this black hole. In fact, there's very little if he gets a VKB. He can't stomp because if he blinks it and stomps, he'll actually just, I think, get pulled into the black hole. There's telekinesis, and that's about it. This is a really good Enigma game. This is a very good Enigma game. This is very tough for, I think this is very tough for the Radiant team to deal with in terms of the black hole or whatever. Doesn't matter.
5 seconds.
Just go ahead and alt-tab there. Anyways, guys, this is the semifinals for the Zotac Cup NA qualifiers. Let's get into it, as we are now in strategy time. You go ahead and type in chat who you think is going to win this particular match. It is a best of one now, remind you. Winner of this will move on to the grand finals, which is a best of 3, of course. And on the other side of the bracket, it's Tempest versus what should be Team Freedom. Wow, Freedom came back from a 10,000 net worth deficit to get into the semifinals. That's impressive, to say the very least. Well done for Freedom to get into that point. They were down 10K. It looked like they were screwed, honestly. That's pretty damn good. You got to give them credit for that. And we'll jump into the game. Should be a good one. Oh, excellent. Look at this banner. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Thank you, Fire. Team name's not being used as there isn't any... we're not on a ticket, so... there won't be any team names. We're just going to have to go based off of thought process. So Moo's going to be on the Terrorblade. That's what I was kind of wondering. Valera playing the offlane Centaur. Sea Freak 747 and crew. Whitebeard. I got to get my... it's going to be tough to, like... you look at some of these players and you're like, I don't know who's who, but we'll figure it out. Vanamatch is starting out with an early Blightstone, interestingly enough. Maybe just to help with the jungle or help zone out this Brax offlane Enigma, who goes for boots first, by the way, and 4 clarities. And we'll see if they give him this this rune. It looks like they are right now going to... Brick's just going to sit back in the base. He actually doesn't have any tangos on him currently. They might give him some with Fluff. With 0 tangos on Brink, they'll probably hand it to him as he walks through the lane, so... I think he wanted to Sunstrike there. He probably did. I don't know how. I don't know what vision he got with it. Unfortunately, I should have been on the Radiant side of the map, but I didn't see it. But he uses his 1 Sunstrike in the well, then he goes out, uses the second one towards the shrine, shrines up, and then he's good to go. Yeah, this is what I was thinking with the Slippers change. I was thinking that you might get Slippers earlier on instead of going for something like a Stout Shield or like a Circlet or something like that, or even Ring of Protection if you're going to go for Aquila. That makes sense. Here we go. Lane Ward placed down for the Radiant team. Dire Ward placed very, very close to the pull camp just to get some vision and see what's going on there. It looks like Brax is just going to start in the jungle. I think he thinks he's probably not going to have a great time down bottom. I don't disagree with him. I think it's not the worst idea in the world. So we'll have to see some early rotations coming up from the Rubik and the Venomancer, or at least the Veno to jungle perhaps, because they're not going to be able to find anything in the spotted lane now with Brax in the jungle. He's waiting for 30 seconds. The camp will spawn momentarily, and he'll get to it. And it's the medium camp. He's got Eidolons in 1. Interesting. Anyway. We'll keep our eyes peeled for this mid matchup, the TA versus the Invoker. Already has Sunstrike ready. Talera's going to jungle as well, so both offlaners just starting out in the jungle, although the Radiant Talera is closer to the offlane than Brax is. If he wants to go back into it, he absolutely can. We'll see if they can harass Brax in the jungle. I'm not sure if there's going to be any rotations coming out. We'll keep our eyes peeled as the Venomancer is going to probably just jungle. He has level 1 Plague Ward, so that seems to be the case. This is going to be, though, Terrorblade having a very good lane. Meanwhile, Fluff rotating in, trying to steal the experience and the last hits from Talera, and already doing a pretty good job. So Talera is forced back into lane with about half HP, but he does have a full Poorman Shield and 2 more tangos to work with. So we'll keep... this probably will be a pretty slow start, I think, all things considered. It's just a lot of farm going to be happening. I'm interested to see how much Veno can get out of this jungle. Still level 1. He finally gets down these Centaurs. How frustrating. But with free farm, it looks like Moo should be able to get another Metamorphosis pretty soon. He just pushed down that tower, or at least try to go for it. They have very good push. Plague Wards, you have the TA later on with potentially a Death, so you have the Terrorblade with obviously bombs of right-click damage for Metamorphosis. He just throws freaking basketballs at people. It's pretty great. We'll See, level 2 for Brink. It looks like also a level, just hitting level 3 is going to be 747 in the mid lane. Fluff. Still level 1 with Slithering Crush, no sprint or anything like that, but he's going to be able to get this Arcane Rune. Nope, just kidding. Somehow Felicia-chan picks it up instead. Crippling Depression is just such a, man, it's not a great name. It's not fun. All right, so you're just going to have to listen to me for 5 minutes until some action happens. Hope you enjoy that, guys. It's going to be great. Really not too much going on right now. Some very good CS for really both teams, but if you look at it, 16, 16, 10. So it's not, with one last hit going for Talera in this offlane, it's not looking good. I'll be honest with you, it is not looking solid at all. But what are you going to do? They have a Terrorblade, they have a Venom, they have ways to push down towers, they have good team fight with Centaur later on down the road if it gets Blink Dagger, they have the TA as well. So it's not like, you know, just because the start is poor doesn't mean that it's going to go that badly for them. Fluff, going to get a CS, finally actually up to 3 now, is getting some level 2 as well, but auto attack damage, Slithering Crush comes out. Terrorblade has Metamorphosis, so Fluff needs to be careful, he won't use it. This Lifestealer is farming TC again. This is one of his best heroes. And it's always good to see him back in Dota 2 and see what he's getting going for himself. Him and Fluff together, always a fun time. And they're doing pretty well. Courier bringing out the full Aquila. Almost the full Aquila for this Terrorblade. Alright, so 4 minutes into the game. I wonder if they're going to... It doesn't look like they're going to go for an aggressive rune play here. Like, Fluff isn't going to head down bottom. Already taking the Ancients is going to be Enigma with his Eidolons. And he has to get another camp, it looks like. Because he can't take it down with just the one set of Eidolons. He did get one of those Ancient Creeps, but not anything too special. Rotating in, Bane will get the Bounty Rune. As you can see, if Talera walks up there, he gets Brain Sapped. He is very low in HP. You didn't know how many people were with Whitebeard. He's level 2. How well is this TA going? 19 last hits to 17, so. With Forge Spirits out now, Brink should do a bit better. He does pick up the Gloves of Haste for the inevitable Midas down the road. Assuming he doesn't get ganked a million times. Fluff has got a Shrine up. Level 2 still, somehow not level 3 yet, even though he is in that bottom lane. They could TP in. The Enigma shouldn't have Black Hole yet. He is only level 4, but he will drop the Midnight Pulse. And this tower will take some hits, but it shouldn't go down. Slithering Crush coming out. They will find Z-Freak, who rotates back in, giving a couple of auto attacks. They do have 1 level of Malefice. Telekinesis will come out. Oh, Fluff got clipped. He doesn't have a TP either, not yet anyways. He needs to get one ferried out, or, no, yeah, he has to get one ferried out. So that's just going to waste some time from Fluff. I mean, it's probably not the worst thing in the world, but it's annoying to deal with. That's pretty funny. All right, as Talera gotten back into it, 12 last hits now, so he's kind of getting there. He's only level 3. This offlane is going much better for the Enigma, but he has much better time in the jungle early on in the game. So Brax is doing pretty damn well. He's going to be picking up his Soul Ring along with his Arcane Boots, interestingly enough. He never wants to run out of mana, I feel him. It's not a bad idea. DC still farming away. His armlet will be completed relatively soon. He's, you know, maybe 1,000 gold away or something along those lines. Again, this is what I was talking about. We weren't going to see too much action in the early stages of this game based off of how everything was going. Oh, his TP was on cooldown too? Oh my god, he's still up here. Fluff is not having a great time. He can TP out now. I think he just wants to make sure that there's no Rubik nearby. In fact, Z-Freak is close, but not close enough to get the telekinesis off, and so Fluff will get back down and start leeching some experience back bottom. That is pretty bad, though. I'll try to get to that blink eventually. Fluff checking the rune, I think, and not... He maybe wanted to ward as well, but won't be able to do so. Side trap on the high ground gets blown up immediately. Cold Snap comes out. Refraction, not enough mana for it, and it's on cooldown. If he gets a Sunstrike here, he might get the skill. Nope. Nope, nope. 747 doesn't waste any time, and he gets behind the tower. So, very good stuff there. Alright, level 6 yet for Brax? Nope, yep, now he does. With Arcanes, should be picking up here this black hole. In fact, he does. Top lane, maybe a bit of a dive going into Talera. They want to take this tower, but again, very difficult with just these two heroes. Alright, Telekinesis, they want the tier 1, they're going to find it. No deny coming out. Fluff was attempting for it, won't be able to be successful. TP coming in, they have the Bane. Do they have a Smoke of Deceit? It looks like no. So they're just going to start pressuring this bottom lane. Enigma picks up a Gloves of Haste, interestingly. Michael Midas, the Bane sleeping up this Rubik. Sunstrike, Malphus, Slithering Crush, and a couple of auto attacks will get first blood for Whitebeard. They still have enough mana. Nope, they don't have enough mana for the Black Hole, but still pretty big kill. First blood at 7.5 minutes into the game. That's a pretty slow-paced game, but you know what we haven't talked about? Venomancer. Already level 6, has an Aquila. He's doing pretty much just as well as this Enigma is at this point. As you can see, they're right next to each other in net worth. Man, that's an excellent pick. Rotation's bid. They're going to try to find the 747. Sunstrike comes out, but he does have the refraction up. And now they're going to try to turn this. The side traps will come through. Malphus isn't there in time. They have to back up. The Fade Bolt comes out. Brink needs to be careful. He threw out the Cold Snap, but he needs to leave at this point. No Fade Bolt for another 9 seconds as he just used it. So an overextension coming out from the Fire team, giving a kill away to 747 on this TA. He was just out of position. Mighty Sensei not fast enough. Rax, I should say. Midas getting close to completion. Lifestealer has just about his armlet. Like 800 gold away. 700. What does Fluff have? Level 4. 800 gold. He just stays alive long enough, he'll get that Blink Dagger inevitably. They are rotating in. Venomancer, though, does have wards. And, oh, I don't know if you want to be here, Whitebeard. That's a lot of damage you're going to take here from just these Plague Wards alone. They do have 1 point in Gale, 2 points into Poison Sting. That'll be that. Midas not done yet for this Invoker. Boots, Null Talisman, Wand. So going for his early game items. Sunstrike misses out. I think they were going for Sleep coming out for the Nightmare. But the Bane couldn't get it off in time. He does get Gelled up. The Poison Sting still hurting a fair amount. Terrorblade, by the way, all the meanwhile is just farming away down bottom in the jungle. And he's almost got a Yasha done. A severe lack of action happening in this game. Meanwhile, Haste Rune, 747 steals the Ancient Stack. That's always fun. Uh-oh, the dive now coming out of the Invoker. He does have his Tornado. Ghost walking out up, and he won't chase any further. Refraction's back up and ready to go if he wants to use it. So, Bring needs to be careful. Man, his net worth is not great. It's more than 1,000 behind the CA. 747 is having a fantastic time. Brax will get the Midas, which will help out along the way, but this early game pressure is already coming out. The Metamorphosis is there. The Terrorblade is hitting bombs at your tower. And this thing probably will drop. And it's also in the trees is going to be Talera with Stampede. And he's not that far off of his Blink Dagger either. I mean, he didn't have a great start, but the game is going pretty well in his favor. Fluff will go ahead and regen up with the Shrine. A Blink for himself as well, but he isn't going to be going for... Ooh. He isn't going to be going for that Tranquil Boot start that we see a lot of them go for. And there's that armlet done. So now with Lifestealer having the armlet, they can start making things happen. Again, they don't have a Blink initiation yet, and they won't have one for a while. But if they wanted to get something going, they probably could. This Invoker really wants his Midas. And down bottom, Z-Freak just trying to sit, leech experience, almost level 6. If they wanted to go for this, they would have to dive. All right. Still, I think, very even game. Oh, am I in the draft overlay still? Oops. Sorry, guys. My bad. It wasn't that big of a deal, I'm sure. You guys don't really care.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A 3,000 net worth advantage for the Radiant team. So, just based off of towers alone and the farming that they're able to accomplish with this Venomancer, look at the top 4. Venomancer is up there. Side Trap, rather, is going to go with the Gale coming out, Meld Strike. There's the Fiend's Grip, however, but the Reflection is Reflection, God, jeez, is there. And they will get the kill. So Terrorblade just walks in, auto attacks a couple times, and finds himself an easy pick off. And now Fiend's Grip has been used. Spell Steal will come out. It's going to be Eidolons picked up for this Rubik, which is pretty freaking nice to keep the waves pushed out. And it looks like the Lifestealer is going to TP down bottom. I think he understands there's probably a rotation coming top. They might be able to take this Tier 1 tower, but the question is, can this Dire team take Tier 1s as well? With the Eidolons picked up, we'll see. Blink Dagger has been bought from the side trap up top by the TA. Scan is going to be successful. They know where Z-Freak is. And he is going to get Malphus. Sunstrike shall go out and win. That should probably bring it down with one more auto attack. TC even uses his open wounds to get it done. So they'll try to push the tower now down. The same could be said, though, of this top lane. So we'll probably lose both Tier 1 towers here. It'll be an even trade with the exception of the Rubik that has just fallen a moment ago. Brax will get himself the tier 1 bottom. The tier 1 top is going to be taken by the TA. Brink does have his Midas up. Late game potential is there for both of these teams. And again, we haven't seen this black hole yet. He's going to be going for a Lincoln Sphere instead, which I think is actually a great idea, considering telekinesis is one of the very few, well, the only thing really that can stop him. So a Lincoln Sphere is not a bad idea whatsoever. In fact, how many targetable spells are there besides like that and Double Edge? Not a whole heck of a lot, I'm going to be honest with you. There's really nothing else besides that and Fade Bolt. So that's the one problem, is if the Rubik knows that he has Lincoln Sphere, he can just Fade Bolt and then telekinesis after. Also, Spell Steal pretty good against the Enigma. That's a very tough counter to deal with. But other than that, if they can deal with this Rubik, they can get some good black holes off. However, I feel like we're going to see more Blink Stomps coming out before we see any of these black holes from the Dire team, as the Blink Dagger has now been purchased for Talera, and they are ready to go. Some good vision for this Radiant team coming out. Some very deep wards. And don't forget Plague wards also. So there's a lot of vision around the map here. They might go for a kill here. Yeah, it looks like Brax needs to be careful. He walks up any further, he might get jumped on here. Midas was used. They have Stampede. Talera wasn't really in position to go for the Blink Stop, and in fact, he knows that if he's near the tier 2 tower, it's probably a bad idea. In the enemy jungle, look at this deep warding mission, and it is probably successful. There's a couple of side traps that might have been scouted out, but other than that, I mean, some deep wards have been put up. I thought he put one here too. Oh god, TC kills the Venomancer top. I missed it completely. I was too busy talking about the warding coming out from both teams. My apologies. My sincerest condolences. Get me out. It is the Deso choice for Lifestealer next. As expected. There is still a 4,000 net worth advantage. Oh god, get out of there, Whitebeard. Nightmare will come through, Z-Freak and Terrorblade close by, but they can't quite catch him. A Blink Dagger is up and ready for 3 seconds for this TA. They should know the direction that he's heading in. In fact, they do. Blink up, Meld Strike, a couple of auto attacks to do the job. Brain Sap comes out. They don't have Enfeeble, so that can't help. And the Bane will fall. Fluff goes up to the high ground only to get just auto attacked down by this Terrorblade illusions, as well as the Fade Bolt coming out, doing some serious damage. Brain Sap was also stolen, which is a pretty nice nuke for the Rubik. So 2 quick kills. Again, give the lead right back to the Radiant team.
Illusion. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And just like that, it's feeling, it's coming up Millhouse right now for the Radiant team. Speaking of Desolators, the year's almost a Desolator along with the Blink Dagger for the TA. Veno has a Midas. Jeez, this is a let's go late game type of playstyle here. Double Midas for Dire, single Midas for the Radiant. Very good farming from everybody else. Rotate up top. Brax has been scouted out, but there is an Infest Bomb. A kill here on Moo would be fantastic. Blinks, the Ring Crush will come out. The Sunstrike is there. The Malefice comes out. They blow him away. It's actually the Creeps that will get the kill. Still looking for more of the Venomancer, as well as Rubik getting chased down. Meanwhile, Gale came out. Telekinesis coming through just to push him back, but the Blinks, the Ring Crush is there, and Z-Freak will fall as well. Venomancer does have his Poison Nova, and he'll use it, but just onto Fluff. They'll get off that ultimate coming out for the Bane. The Rage as well as the Open Wounds coming out, and TC should find another kill. It's a double for TC, but they've already lost 2 as Felicia, Sean, as well as the Centaur come up here. But they don't want to go any further. They don't want to fight at the Shrine. So actually a pretty favorable trade coming out for the Dire team. If they had not lost Brax or the Bane there, that would have been much better. But coming in to clean up was that TA. Stampede wasn't even used for that, by the way. Desolator now done for TC. All right.
Double damage.
Blessings.
Ooh, the AC next too. Well, that's a lot of armor reduction. Alright. Lincoln's is getting closer and closer to completion. TC up at the top lane. They have Blink Stomp. They're going to use it right now. Meld Strike comes out as well, and with this damage, Slithering Crush, Counter Initiation, TC infests in and out. He gets the kill on Talera, but he should fall. Meanwhile, the Open Wound's coming out, not enough to heal him back up while he man fights that TA. Down bottom, however, another fight happening. Brax getting caught out, Telekinesis. The Poison Gale coming out of Venomous Gale, excuse me, no poison, but it was on cooldown, and so they get the kill onto 2. And just like that, they're starting to pressure this tier 2 tower. Sunstrike, oh, what a shot from Brink. Takes down Z-Freak. That was just on the edge, too. Man, pretty nice kill. Helps him continue to farm up and get towards this Aghanim Scepter as it is flying out now. The perfect time for fight then. Can they take down Felicia Chan? Blink away. Nicely done from 747 to get out. Terrorblade as well, making his escape as they take the tier 2 tower. A couple of big items coming out, including the Desolator for the TA and the Aghanim Scepter, as we just talked about for the Invoker. So we'll slow it down a little bit now that Metamorphosis is going to be down here momentarily, and wait to see if any sort of aggression comes out from either team. And like I said, that Lincoln Sphere is close to completion for Brax, but it's going to take a little bit. And even with that Lincoln Sphere, how safe is he going to be? They're looking for a fight top. Brink would be a huge kill, but they've a couple heroes rotating over, including that Bane with Fiend's Grip. TC and Fluff going together. They have a smoke. They have an Infest Bomb. They more than likely are going to use it here. I don't believe this ward scouted it. In fact, it almost certainly didn't. Sunstrike scouting the Roche Pit. Nobody in there. Heading up to the high ground is Whitebeard. TP's coming out. Fluff. The Plague Ward is going to scout things out. They do know that the Venomancer has headed into the tree line here. And, well, unfortunately, they're not going to make it. Brax is just not using the Midnight Pulse in the right area. Even if he does, that TP was already completed by the time he dropped it. And all right, head into the Roche Pit we go with Belch Strike and Desolator and Plague Wars and all that good stuff. Could fall pretty quickly. Fluff finds a full creep wave for himself. How lucky. This is falling pretty quickly, but there is no Terrorblade in here yet. So they need to make a decision about whether or not they want to do this. I don't know if the Dire know what's happening yet. In fact, it looks like they're rotating slowly but surely. And this row should fall now. I think it's a little too late for the Dire to contest. With Belt Strike, blinks, they're in crush. They need to take that Aegis. Can they snatch it? They do. Fluff gets the snatch off. It was so close. Midnight Pulse comes down. The Black Hole comes out into Terrorblade as well. And they should get this kill. Telekinesis, but it comes too late. Aegis has already been used by Fluff. They're still going to work. Crippling Depression, Braxton fall, and now Brink's in trouble as well. The turnaround, 747 is owning a double kill for this Venomancer. That slow coming out from the Poison Wards as well as the Venomous Gale doing some serious work. TC now slowed up as well. Side Trap, Poison Sting. And that should do it. So it turns out to be a 3 for 2. They do steal the Aegis, which is great, but again, they lose. Well, the fight kind of goes their way. They actually lost the Bane on top of all of that. So not only did they lose 3, they lost 4th as well. Great snatch from Fluff, but I don't know if it really meant anything. They did get the kill on the Terrorblade, which is great, but they are having a very tough time dealing with this TA right now. And it's going to be even harder as she gets her Hurricane play coming out pretty soon. The Dragon Lance is already flying out. So this game gets harder and harder as the game progresses. But again, though, you saw that was without the Lincoln Sphere, by the way. Brax almost got a full Black Hole off because they had no way of dealing with it. But now it's going to be tough for them to fight. They have to wait another 140 seconds before that Black Hole is up. And a Blink Dagger would be very useful for Enigma at some point in this game if he wants it. I do have the Blink's Slithering Crush initiation, though, from Fluff, so. Mech has now been picked up for the Venomancer, and he already has Boots Travel, so. Wow. That is insane. They now have a 7,000 net worth advantage coming out for the Radiant team. And it looks to be getting worse as this game progresses. I don't know how much they can do. It's not like Lifestealer is the best at farming. Really, this Invoker is going to have to put in some more because he's trying to get to Boots of Travel and he's very close. And so now they'll push. Metamorphosis is back up in 38 seconds. They have the Hurricane Plague from TA. She's done plenty of damage already and should be able to take this tier 2 tower rather quickly. No contention coming out from the Dire team, looks like. Man. TA zoning right now. Dire scan. Pretty close. They gotta push high ground is the question again. Metamorphosis is back up. This game could get blown wide open right now. They're gonna go to work. Glyph is not available. And already having to head back. Fluff has that Infest Bomb. And TA might be able to get out. Blink, Slithering Crush. Ah, the timing is there. 747 is just owning. They get the Telekinesis off the Stomp as well as there. The Sunstrike will come out. They've already evaporated that poor frickin' Bane. He's dead. And the bombs are being thrown by the Illusions coming out from Terrorblade. They want to continue here. They want to take this tier 3 tower down, and they'll take it. They can back up and take the Shrine now. The mana is gone for the Terrorblade. Arcane Boots should be ready. No, they just used them for Z-Freak. So they'll TP home, they'll take down the shrine, and just like that, this game has gotten much, 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 much harder for the Dire team, for Fire. It's not over yet, but it's a 10,000 net worth advantage in 22 minutes is never a good sign. Telekinesis. Jesus Christ. He just got blown away. That is never fun. Oh, okay. Well, they got the Zeno. Poison Nova was used though, so Fluff might actually die. I think he is gonna die. He might die in the well. Yep, he did. That sucks for him. Ghost Walk TP home. They were looking for more. I mean, 747 is thirsty for blood, let me tell you. He's just looking for it like crazy. Well, again, the game just gets worse and worse for Fire at this point, down 11,000 net worth. They still at least have the tier 2 tower. They can have some good initiation. They have Black Hole, of course. It's a game-changing ability. Blink Dagger should be coming next, or something along those lines. I mean, he's up to 1900 gold. I wouldn't be surprised if he's saving for it. However, the problem is that the Centaur is up here, and he could go for a kill if they have an extra person, an extra body. So I think Brax knows he needs to... Oh, he's going BKB instead, so he doesn't want the Blink Dagger. So he has very defensive capabilities. It'll be very tough to bring this Enigma down. But also, I think a big reason, too, for the Lincoln Sphere spell steal as well is another big reason that I forgot to talk about. Force Staff for Terrorblade is now up as the Hurricane Pike is done and ready to go.
Go for me.
Blink for the Invoker has been picked up, which they need some sort of initiation. TC will find the Venomancer top lane. He's not expecting for him to get caught out, but he does. Every little pick like that gives them some more time to work with, some more room to work with. So it's very crucial. Again, and also Roshan respawning in 4.5 minutes, which is a pretty early Rosh respawn. They've taken down the shrines, and right now it's just back to farming, spreading out the map, getting as much done for the Radiant team for complexity as they can, and proceeding from that point. Maybe waiting for the BKB as well for the TA. That way she's kind of almost unkillable, unless she gets Black Hole, but even then I'm not sure if they have enough damage to bring her down. AC almost done for TC. And they're going to try to take this tier 2 tower down. So even without Z-Freak, they're going to push in. The Aghanim is done for the Centaur, so if they want to make a go, they can. If they want to try to find a pick or something. Fluff was spotted. They had a ward there if they want to go for it. Also in the jungle, they'll see Brax, but instead they might have to go back home and defend this tier 2 tower. They're moving together as smoke is up. They're not heading towards Fluff. Instead, they're heading right into the jungle. Good positioning for Bane. We'll scout out anything here, but no wards to help out. TP coming from him as well as Brink. They do find Fluff. I was sure they weren't going to head in that direction. Oops. And just like that, he's dead for 40 seconds. They can start pushing into the tier 3 or perhaps the Rack's bottom. There's a good ward up here as well. Sentry, is it just out of range? It is. And Sentry is not going to see it. He doesn't have another one, it looks like, either. Jumping in. Gale misses the force forward. They blow him away. Stomp comes down at the Brink TC. They have that Black Hole for Brax. He's not using it. Stampede comes through. The mouth is there. The meatball is up. Fade Bolt, Ice Wall on the ground. Black Hole used, but the Poison Sting will bring him down. Only the half HP that Black Hole is actually useful against the TA. They'll blow up the Invoker as well. Stomp comes out. All 5 are dead. And that might be game, as there's only 2 buybacks left. No buyback for the Invoker. Dead for 56 seconds. And just like that, that might be it. They'll buy back on the Lifestealer. But with Metamorphosis up, all these illusions, these tier 3s will fall quickly. It'll be a 4 versus 5 fight. The Infest out. They will get this TA, but they do blow up at least one. Another buyback coming in. That'll be from Fluff. Coming out, no Black Hole again. They need to be careful. A lot of damage from those illusions. And they will hold their tier 3 in Rax mid. But still a very tough engagement here. Losing that TA means that everybody needs to back coming out from complexity. But they've already secured their accomplishment in terms of getting that tier 3 tower and Rax down bottom. What are we looking at now? 20,000 net worth advantage? Yeah. Believe that they're 1 foot away from just losing the game entirely. If they get a pick here, it could be useful, but it's only the Bane, so it's not like they could find anything. Bane, I don't believe he might have been spotted by the wards. He's going to try for the TP out, and he will be successful. Top lane, Brink and Crippling Depression, aka Brax, are looking for some sort of initiation, but also Z-Freak with a blink in 6 seconds is ready to go and look for a lift. But again, Centaur's already backed himself away, so Z-Freak would have to go for a solo kill. Tornado has been stolen. Blinks up further. Z-Freak is really going in deep for this. Whether or not if he wants to find a kill remains to be seen. Tornado, good. Blank from Brink, gets himself out of there quickly. Aghanims, by the way, has been picked up for this Venomancer. Jeez. That is some damage. Poison Nova, along with all of the other damage in this game, is going to be absolutely crushing. And they don't have enough burst to get through this Aghanim Scepter from the Centaur. So this early start for the Radiant team for Complexity has snowballed pretty quickly. Now they have the BKB for the TA. With Roche back up in about 40 seconds, they have really everything they need. His Black Hole should be back up momentarily for the Enigma in 20 seconds, in fact. And he's going for Blink next. I mean, they really need some big initiations. They really do. He's going to have to hit some major Black Holes, and I think a lot of that also would come out with a Blink Dagger, too. You'd have a better time with it. But Z-Freak's positioning should be pretty solid so far. But they're going to go for top. Fluff is going to get caught out. There's an Invis Rune along with a couple of Melt Strikes and auto attack damage from Felicia Shan is able to bring down the hero easily. Fluff has not had a great game in terms of just getting caught like crazy. Not necessarily his fault, but it's just the way it goes, I guess, for this support Slardar in this game. And they're going to start moving into the Tier 3 tower, both top and mid. The waves are pushed. The Tier 3 tower mid is very low in HP. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for that instead. Some Plague Wards have been being put down, Ice Wall, to make sure they can't quite get up to the high ground just yet. Again, this Tier 3 tower, very low. One auto attack does the job for 747. They'll move back. They'll probably head to Roche now that it is respawned, as they have the side trap getting vision. And not only that, but with that, they will be able to start turning in and going for other big fights. But buyback status-wise, here's the big problem. There's really one, and it's just the Invoker. Everybody else is on cooldown, or they don't have enough money for it for Whitebeard. So net worth looking pretty great for the Radiant team. Again, I talked about it. It's a 23,000 net worth advantage. It's just a steady climb upwards, as you can see in this graph. It continues to get worse and worse. Aegis will be picked up by 747, and they will move together and look to end this game, I would imagine. One big team fight and this game's over. And they don't really have to commit themselves to anything. They could wait for the Scotty, for the Terrorblade. I mean, they've got everything they need right now. I mean, pretty close to it anyway. Good scan from the Complexity to make sure there isn't a wraparound gank coming in this area. They even have the ward up there as well, so just making sure there's no smoke happening and getting flanked. Side trap has been spotted. It will be taken down, so they get some vision for half a second, but it will fall. It doesn't look like there's any vision in the base for the Radiant team, except for this ward coming out. So the Ring Crush coming out. Tornado's there along with the EMP, but he's able to blink out and avoid that mana drain. So some spells have been used. Tornado EMP now gone, which might signal for Felicia Shan to go and start doing some work here. Not an easy game. Not an easy game for the Dire team. They are holding on for dear life at this point, because one more fight and it could go all horribly. Slithering Crush comes out, but Fluff actually, his blink was on cooldown somehow. Whether or not it was an auto attack from Z-Freak or something, I'm not sure. But the Terrorblade going to work. The range back. Slithering Crush comes out. Now the Infest out as well. The EMP on top. The Stampede is there. They're looking for the Black Hole. Can they get it off onto 2? Yes. Is it enough damage? It looks like he's doing it alone. TC's trying to fight. They will bring down the Terrorblade, and everybody is low, though, for the Dire. I don't think it's going to be enough. They buy back in the Invoker. TC cannot afford to die. With a couple more auto attacks, stomps him out. He is dead for 84 seconds. And it is a 5 for 1 trade. Brink will come back in. The Tornado, EMP on top, Telekinesis. Now the Melt Strike, and he will fall. It's all 5 dead. GG is called, and it will be Complexity moving on to the Grand Finals. This time around for the NA Zotac Cup Open Qualifiers. Well, I was pretty sure that Enigma was going to have a better time, but they got a little too far behind in the early game. The mid lane wasn't very good. The only lane that went well for them was the top lane. But it kind of just, the Terrorblade hitting his peak, the TA getting her Blink Dagger, that's when everything started getting out of control. So, Hold on a moment, folks. No, don't leave me alone. No. Damn it. God. My favorite. God damn it. Anyway, we'll take a quick break and we'll jump into the grand finals when we get a second. Stick around, folks.